Okay, brothers and sisters of the hook, as promised, here is the video, the underwater video from our last trip. Some of you will find this absolutely boring because there's not much going on noise-wise, because it is absolutely silent and quiet down there, and I do not plan on putting any music in the background. What you see and hear is what you get, other than the clicking occasionally of the metal on the bottom of the line, and which is attached to the camera, the top of the camera base. As you can see, there are an incredible amount of fish there on the bottom that we did not catch. Porkfish, mangrove snapper right there. Those yellow ones are called porkfish. Sheepshead, nice big sheepshead right there. And I'm not going to narrate this thing continuously because there's so much in here. Let me cut this off right now for a little bit, and so just to let you watch. There's a French grunt right there. What you see in the background there, getting ready to come over that shelf, is a lionfish. Also, this is the natural color this day on the bottom. I have not enhanced the quality of the light so that you can see things better. This is actually an amazingly clear, for 16 to 18 miles out. This is the way the water was on this day. Lots and lots and lots, incredible amounts of mangrove snapper. You do not see hardly any in comparison to the other species of fish. Red snapper, they were all primarily above, well above the shelf here on the bottom in the mid column. But there were still not as many as there were sheep's head. There were not as many as there were mangrove snapper, and of course you got unlimited amounts of these other fish that you know, just bait fish. Also, I had 3 cams down in 3 different directions, so I'll be switching directions here so that we don't just keep watching one direction. And as I estimate, I had about 45 minutes on the bottom. Well, 45 minutes times 3 cams is well over 2 hours. How about that nice mangrove snapper there? Well over 2 hours of video, and that's just way, way too much. So I'm just going to edit these clips down to maybe a 20-minute maximum, just to show you the highlights. Now keep in mind that I have the line attached to the top of the cam unit with a metal clip, and there's huge waves up on top, so I've got a lot of slack in the line. It doesn't matter, because when those waves come by and they're 4 feet high, it's going to pull that slack out, and that's why the camera just jumped up and down. And you'll hear that clicking just because there's waves on the surface pulling on the line back and forth to the metal clip attached to the cams. Look at all those fish, all those quality fish, not just all those bait fish, all those grunts. It's just amazing down there what we didn't catch. Now keep an eye off to the right of the screen. Here comes Big Boy. I am pretty sure that is the, not positive, but I think that is the sand tiger shark that I managed to feed a great big red snapper to. How about them mangrove snappers there? But if you keep an eye on that tiger shark, and you'll see it in a couple more clips here in just a little bit, there's seems to always be a cobia following or close by. That's more of that wave action up on top, and there's that shark. I don't see the cobia. Looks like the cams got knocked over to on their side a little bit. That'll correct itself in some of these other videos. Look at that stream of bait. Look at all that bait. It's just amazing, the biomass down there. Okay, if you keep an eye on the background, you'll see a mass of these grunts all of a sudden gathering in one spot. That is either John or my line going down with bait on it, and they're attacking it. Keep an eye. Okay, see that back here? There we go. Yeah, you see it there. That's where they're just hitting our lines. That's why you don't catch a whole lot of other species, because the grunts are just attacking everything that drops. And here you will see one of 5 or 6 flounder that I saw out there that we didn't catch also. But he said they look like small, thin flounder, so I'm kind of glad we didn't catch any. Wouldn't want to be tempted to take them home when they're just so thin like that. You see him just bury himself? That's kind of cool. Okay, I have cut out about 3 or 4 minutes of the video, and you can see that the flounder has decided to move on. He just disappeared into the bottom. That's kind of cool. Well, we've had some large wave action going on the surface. That's why the cams are jumping around. But before I switch to another view of one of the other cams, let's take a look and see what's going to be coming up here on the right. Any second now. Still big wave action. There's a red snapper. Look at there. Boy. Sand tiger. Nice and slow moving one. I got a feeling there might have been 1 or 2 other big sharks down there besides that guy. Alright, it's about time to change camera angles. And here comes another fella that we didn't catch, and I wish we had. Now keep an eye right in the middle of the screen, and you'll see a somewhat rare sight. That's a mola mola, or a sunfish. Got a better view of him at another camera angle, and I'll show it in a little bit. And now I'm getting ready to pull the cameras up and move a little bit so we can see a different view. Look at all those fish as I'm pulling the cams up. Red snapper in the mid column. Isn't that cool? Yep, there's a red snapper. More red snapper, more red snapper. Big one there on the right. And there was actually some almost all the way to the top, but we'll skip ahead. All right, dropping down in a little bit of a different spot. Whoa, look at all those mangrove snapper. It's amazing. Red snapper, few. Mangroves, there's over a dozen in this picture. Maybe 15, 20. Triggerfish, big old shark, big old shark. Sand tiger, slow mover. Porkfish, porkfish, but didn't catch a single porkfish. That's all right. They're no good to eat anyway. They're nasty tasting. I guess you can, mix it with spices and stuff and make it palatable, but yuck. Not even John likes them. Nobody I know likes them. There's a French grunt. Two of them, actually. But we've moved over probably only 20 feet, just a little bit of a different section of this natural reef, and just look at the difference. Holy moly, look at all those sheepshead. Alright. We just went through a series of big waves up on top that caused the cameras to jump around quite a bit. They're settling down a little bit now. But in the background here in just a second, I believe you're going to see a flounder up off the bottom. There he is. There he is. See him there? See a shadow? Swimming along. Not very big flounder. I'm pretty sure they're not too big. None of the flounder that I saw were very big down there. I saw about 5 or 6. And I wonder what this is going to be coming into view. Oh, look, a cobia. Something else we didn't catch, but I actually saw, I think, 3 or 4 cobia. Some were up in the mid column also. Alright, it's about time to look for another camera view, camera angle at a different spot. Alright, when the cams hit the bottom at this spot, you'll see that it was right next to a ledge, and there's a massive fish going to be running in and out underneath that ledge there. Don't know what they're after, maybe eggs or something, but they're feeding on something. Just keep an eye on them and you'll see what's going on. It's kind of crazy. And in just a second, you'll see something run them off. Boom. Get out of here. Alright, the wave action actually caused the cams to jump up and turn about, looks like about 15-20 degrees in a counterclockwise motion. and this is where they settled. It's a beautiful view, and you'll see our buddy coming over the edge of that shelf right there in just a second. He was constantly cruising around. Now make sure you pay attention. See that cobia right there? Always seem to be close by that big sand tiger shark. And up above, up high up there, nice great big huge red snapper. And here's another clip of Mr. Sand Tiger. He's going to be coming into view here in a second. Wave action was just sometimes just huge, like 4.5 footers. Here he comes, nice and slow. I'm glad he didn't eat my cams. Plus, up above him there is that mola mola swimming by. Okay, I'm going to bring this to a conclusion. Of course, I'm going to save the best for last. Don't know what those black jobs are down there, but I've caught quite a few of them. Not a very good fish for anything other than maybe bait. Look at all those mangroves, red snapper, and there's a special treat coming up here in just a minute. Okay, there he is coming in from the left underneath that shelf. What do you see there? I had a buddy estimate about 30 pounds. Let me cut out some of this clip so we can get a little bit better view. There we go. Keep an eye on the left there, underneath that shelf. Here we go. Looky there. Wave action's moving the cams up and down, but you get an idea what's going on. And I just wonder how many more of those big gag groupers underneath this shelf in this area, this whole area. Alright, the wave action on the surface had caused the cams to bounce up and down, so I moved ahead a little bit to where they settled down finally. And off to the left here, underneath the shelf a little bit, you will see a flounder. See him there? A little flounder going. Back in the background is that big gag grouper, and we got this school of these dark fish here. That flounder still moving to the left. And here comes the sand tiger. There goes the Nice size cobia. Man, this is so cool. What you don't see under the boat. Now, keep in mind, this is only 45 minutes. What goes on all day? What's in, this is just one little section. So what's in all this huge section? Look at those teeth. Arr, arr, arr. Get ready. Here's the best shot coming up. Cobia, shark, gag grouper. Fantastic. Thank you, Lord, for this adventure. All right, it's about time to pull these cams up and store them till next adventure. Before I forget what I promised, mola mola. Yeah.